It's not very often that the Reverend Partridge has time to indulge in hobbies, especially since his orphanage scheme got underway. But today he can relax, for now it seems that nothing can prevent his plans for Stilgo Lodge from going ahead.
Well, if a diamond's the hardest stone, Mr. Partridge, what does it get cut with?
Another diamond.
Another diamond?
Yes. You see, long ago, diamonds weren't valued as highly as rubies or emeralds, because in its natural state, a diamond doesn't shine like a cut diamond does. It was the Indian lapidaries who first discovered that a diamond could be ground with its own powder and made to shine.
Oh, you mean like Mother's ring?
Well, not exactly. I mean, the art of shaping a stone didn't come till much later. Yes, that's a very nice stone.
If diamonds are the hardest, what's the next hardest?
Corundum. Well, rubies and sapphires. Have you ever seen the crown jewels?
I have.
Well, in the state crown is the Black Prince's ruby.
Yes, I've seen that.
That ruby was worn by Henry V in the coronet on his helmet at the Battle of Agincourt. And the story goes that the helmet deflected the nearly fatal blow delivered by the Duc d'Alençon, and the ruby wasn't damaged at all.
Golly, it must have been strong. I expect we'll be going to the Tower of London when you come to stay. Oh, lovely.
Goodness, what time is it? I've got an appointment with Mr. Wilkinson at 5. I mustn't be late. Look, I should think you've probably got enough here to be going on with. Now, if you get them ready, I'll explain the next step this evening. All right? Now, forgive me for going, but it really is rather important. Oh.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Oh, Mr. Partridge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please sit down.
Oh, thank you.
Could I get you a drink?
No, thank you.
Look, I'm sorry to have to call you in like this, but I find myself in rather an awkward position concerning Stilgo Lodge.
Well, everything's all right, isn't it? I mean, your report said that everything was...
I'm afraid I made a small oversight when I submitted the final report to you. The last page went to miss. I don't know how it happened.
Oh, dear. Well, what does it involve?
Perhaps you'd better read it for yourself.
Oh, thank you. Small oversight? But this is preposterous.
I am sorry. It's just one of those
But our
things.
plans, those children.
I don't think it's as bad as all that.
Not as bad as all that.
Look, I am free to tell you that the Annerley Coal Company have offered to keep their eyes open for another property and help in any way they can.
Which company?
The Annerley Coal Company. It's their coal seam that's causing all the trouble.
Mr. Wilkinson, I don't think you realize what you've done by this small oversight of yours. I've been looking for a suitable property for months. When I finally found Stilgo Lodge, it was on your say-so that all the plans went ahead. The time and effort of many people and the future of many children has been swept aside by this one piece of paper.
Well, I am sorry.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilkinson.
If we don't leave soon, you're going to be late.
Almost ready.
No, you hate missing the beginning of a picture.
Yes, I know. What's that?
What?
You just put in your pocket.
Nothing.
Nothing?
My watch. I just want to see how much time we got before we miss the picture.
I see. Well?
Well, what?
Oh, my dress. The new dress I've made.
Oh, it's nice.
Nice?
Well, you know, it's, nice.
Oh, Mary, I'm glad I caught you. Hello, Benjamin.
Take care.
I say, Mary, that's a pretty dress. It's new, isn't it?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Partridge. Yes, it is.
Yes, very pretty. I wanted to see if a parcel had arrived for me.
Oh, yes, it has.
Oh, good. Well, that should keep the boys happy for this evening, at least.
There you are.
The lad said you were going over to see the surveyor about Stilgo Lodge.
Mr. Wilkinson. Yes, I've just come from there.
Everything all right?
Oh, well, you know what they say, Benjamin. The mills of God grind slow. Which reminds me, when are you going to pop the question?
Ah, no.
Well, perhaps you better prompt him, Mary. Well, after all, it is leap year.
I might just do that.
I wish you'd hurry up. I'm hungry.
Yes, me too. Oh, you shouldn't be long.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry.
That's strange. Have either of you taken a book from here?
No, Mother.
No, ma'am. Oh, that'll be Mr. Partridge now. Remember what I said. Best manners this evening. Donkey's nod.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, good evening, Lady Jane.
Good evening, Mr. Partridge.
It's very kind of you to ask me. William, Jonathan.
Good evening, sir. We've got a lot of stones ready like you asked. When can we get started?
Jonathan, Mr. Partridge has only just arrived.
Oh, that's all right. Now, I sent for this. It's for you both. It's a detailed book on the cutting and polishing of gems, and there's a working set in there to get you started.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'll tell you how it works later on.
That was extremely kind of you, Mr. Partridge.
Oh, that's all right. I'm glad to see that William's settling down to country life all right.
I think he would have been bored without all these excitements. They do get themselves involved.
So I've noticed. However, despite all the boys' efforts to get Stilgo Lodge started as an orphanage, I'm afraid I'm the bearer of some rather sad news from Mr. Wilkinson.
We've had his report. It's fine.
Well, apparently it's not.
Why not?
Mr. Wilkinson says that there is subsidence under Stilgo Lodge, caused by the workings of a coal seam.
But there haven't been any workings there.
Well, I've been to see him, and he says there have.
Well, why didn't he tell us this in his first report?
It seems he omitted this. It's the final page of his report. It slipped off the back of the file when he sent it to us, so he says.
Seems very unprofessional.
Yes, I agree, William. Very unprofessional. Slipped off the back? What sort of an office is Mr. Wilkinson running?
Oh, Mr. Jackson.
No, don't put it away, Dennis. Pour me one.
My father's only been dead for 6 months.
Oh, what's that got to do with you offering me a drink?
He'd turn in his grave if he knew about me falsifying a report.
Well, I doubt if he'll find out. I hear tell the Reverend Partridge was here this afternoon.
That's right.
Seems to have upset you.
Well, I'm not used to lying. I told him about the last page of the report. He kept on asking questions.
Oh, so what? I've given you all the answers.
Sooner or later, they'll find out the pit hasn't been worked under there. They're bound to get a second opinion.
They may well find out, and they may well get a second opinion. But whatever happens, it'll give us the time we need. We can't raise the cash to buy a Stilgo Lodge for a couple of weeks, so we need to delay Partridge and Lady Flaxton. Just put them off a bit.
And what about me? I shall be struck off.
I told you, I'll look after you. You'll be all right.
What the devil does Annerley Coal Company want with Stilgo Lodge, anyway? It's no mausoleum, it's falling apart.
I'll let you into a little £50,000 secret. The County's going to build a trunk road. It happens to cross the land on which Stilgo Lodge stands.
Signing of the completion to purchase, the payment of the monies, the renovation of the house, and the opening of the orphanage. Oh, all these dates will have to be abandoned, Lady
Not
Jane.
yet, Mr. Partridge. We are not abandoning anything.
No, you're right. We mustn't give up so easily. But if we do have to get another surveyor's report, it's going to take weeks.
Well, let me sleep on it. We'll have another chat about it tomorrow.
All right. Thank cook for me, would you? It was a delicious meal. And thank you, Lady Jane, for your superb hospitality.
Good night, Mr. Partridge.
Good night. Better news tomorrow.
Just when it looks as though the orphanage was all set.
I feel sorry for poor old Partridge.
Supposing he's a crook.
Who, the Reverend Partridge?
Don't be daft. I mean Wilkinson. Well, why would he pretend the coal seam had been worked if it hadn't? Isn't there somewhere we could check up?
What, look at the foundations of Stilgo Lodge? You'd have to be a chartered surveyor to know.
I suppose so.
I know something about geology.
Have to get underground. What was that?
Oh, that's the old owl. Sits up in the gables in the last course of the moon. If you listen, you'll hear his friend in Carliston. It's very spooky. Are you scared? It's only an owl.
What about the cellar?
What cellar?
A Stilgo Lodge. If we found it, we could see if there's any subsidence.
Doubt it.
Do you remember I told you there was a secret passage somewhere in Flaxton Hall?
Yes.
Mother said it was to lead from the hall and go underground. Maybe there's a passage at Stilgo. If we find it, we'll definitely see if there's any subsidence.
Might.
I'd like to learn something about geology.
Night.
Night.
was a lovely picture, Benjamin. I've not had such a good cry for a long time. Thank you very much for taking me.
Mary?
Yes?
You're very welcome, love.
Is anything wrong? You've been fidgety all evening.
No, it's just that...
What?
Well, it's very warm tonight, isn't it?
What's that?
It's just a ring.
For me?
No. Well...
May I have a look at it?
There you are. Let's know what you think of it.
Oh, Benjamin. It's beautiful. Don't you want to put it on my finger?
Yeah. Well, that's it then, I suppose.
Yes, I suppose. My goodness. You do need prompting, don't you?
Jonathan? What? You asleep?
Not yet.
We don't get many owls in London, but I've heard them outside the school. But never this close. You sure it's not in the house?
Of course not, it's just up here.
Night.
Night.
I want to get to sleep. Up here.
It's not, come on!
Well, where? What are you talking about?
Well, William says he saw a woman.
Run down?
Yes, ma'am, by a horse. He says he saw it. I did, but they've gone. The horse went that way and she's not here.
Why, it's you, my lady.
Oh, Benjamin. So glad to see you.
Why, what's been happening?
Well, William says he saw a woman knocked down.
I did. I heard her scream out now at the top of her voice. I bet it was the owl. It sits on top of the house when a full moon's coming on. I think it came from the library. So I got up to look out the window and I saw her. She was standing right there. Then the horse came along and knocked her down.
A horse? She was knocked down by a horse?
Are you sure, William?
What does she look like?
She had an old-fashioned dress on with a sort of bustle.
What colour was the dress?
White with small flowers on it.
Vanessa Martin.
It can't be, Benjamin. It can't possibly be. Don't put ideas into the boys' heads.
Can't be what, Mother?
Oh, Vanessa Martin, it's some kind of a practical joke.
Why can't it be? Benjamin, why can't it be?
Because Vanessa Martin was killed right here by a horse. In 1890.
All the doors and windows are secure, Lady Flaxton. The intruder, if there was one, could only have come through this front door.
Where shall we have this, my lady?
Oh, thank you, Benjamin. In the library.
All right.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Now, let's get this young man's story down, shall we? Ah, thank you, Benjamin. May I?
Oh, please do.
Thank you, lady. Now then, William. From the beginning.
Well, the clock in our bedroom had struck the quarter hour, 2:15.
2:15.
Yes, sir. Then I heard movements.
What sort of movements?
Well, I wasn't sure at first. Then I heard footsteps coming from somewhere down here. They stopped for about 10 seconds.
10 seconds?
Well, about that, then the owl went.
Yes, that's what I thought it was.
No, the owl came first and then the scream.
Scream?
Yes, a woman screaming something like no. This door opened or
Yes,
it
but
could've-
Benson closes all the doors, so it must have been this one because I found it open.
And the front door?
Well, it's bolted every night.
She unlocked that. I heard her doing it. That was when I got up and looked out of my window. She was standing where I showed you. The horse came along.
Just a minute. Let's probe this young man's story. Now, did you really see what you thought you saw?
Yes, sir, I'm quite sure.
You hadn't been talking about ghosts before you went to sleep last night, or Vanessa Marden?
No, Mother. Nothing like that. We did talk about the owl. William said it was spooky.
Oh, what book were you reading last night?
A book about fishing.
Well, you sure it wasn't a book called Tales of Yorkshire?
No, ma'am.
You know, a small red book, hand-printed. There were only 2 or 3 of them printed, and it's missing. Well, have you taken it, Jonathan?
No, Mother.
A book missing?
Yes, that is strange.
Why?
Well, that's the book that contains a complete description of Vanessa Marden's death.
It was documented by a friend of my late husband's father, along with other tales.
Oh, somebody came in here then to steal a book?
No, it was already missing before she was in here. And we didn't take it.
You had a good look round the grounds, Benjamin.
I saw nothing, Sergeant.
Then, that leaves us with 3 alternatives. Either William imagined it...
I didn't.
All right, I didn't say you did. Or someone broke in here...
Somebody dressed up and play-acted it.
Or it is a ghost.
I'd like to hear more about this Vanessa... Marden.
Oh, Sergeant, if you have finished with the boys, I think they'd better return to their beds.
Oh, Mother, please.
No, Jonathan, you've had enough excitement for one night. And what would your mother say to me, William, if she knew you were up until this hour?
It'd be all right,
No,
ma'am.
off you go. I'm sorry about that, Sergeant, but I felt it best the boys return to their beds. Although, to hazard a guess, I'm quite sure that Jonathan is regaling William with tales regarding Vanessa Marden.
Vanessa Marden was living in Carlisle in the 1880s. She was, in love with my grandfather. Well, she thought he'd jilted her. Well, in revenge, she came to Flaxton Hall one night to try to poison his father, my great-grandfather, in the library. What happened then? She'd put something in a bottle of brandy he was drinking, but luckily, our friend Peter Weeks, his father, came in just in time to stop her from drinking it. Then offered her a drink of the same brandy. She screamed at the top of her voice, "No!" and ran out of the room. That's what I heard her do tonight. She opened the front door. I heard that. And ran out to her carriage. But before she could get there, a horse came along, knocked her down and killed her. I saw all that.
A remarkable story, Lady Flaxton.
Yes, tonight's incident is very close to the real thing.
That's what I was thinking. Only somebody with access to that book could have known about Vanessa Marden.
Well, there are 2 or more other copies.
All right, but if it was that book it was taken from, only somebody in this household could have taken it.
If the lads had taken it, they would have said.
But perhaps the whole thing's got out of hand and they're frightened to say anything.
I don't believe that.
No, neither do I, Sergeant.
That's a possibility. Well, there's nothing more I can do here tonight. I'll be back first thing in the morning, have a good look round. No disrespect, Benjamin, but I do have a trained eye. I know what to look for.
What's that?
Clues, hoof prints. Well, good night, Lady Flaxton.
Good night, Sergeant.
Thanks for the cocoa. Good night, Benjamin.
Sergeant.
Well, what do you make of all this, Benjamin?
I don't rightly know, my lady, but I'm certain that the lads have got nothing to do with it.
No, I think you're right. And on top of everything else, Mr. Partridge arrived tonight with the news that Stilgo Lodge may not now be suitable for the orphanage.
Why is that? I thought everything had been settled.
Oh, yes, so did I. But apparently there's subsidence there caused by the Annerley coal mine.
There's been no mining under Stilgo.
No, that's what I thought. I think we'd better have a word with Mr. Wilkinson tomorrow.
Right, my lady. I'll pop into the village first thing and see whether any rumours about what happened here tonight.
Thank you, Benjamin. Good night.
Good night,
I think
lady.
we could both do with some sleep.
Do you think I could have seen a ghost? I don't believe in ghosts, but why not? There are ghosts, I'm sure. Gosh, supposing I did see a ghost. A real ghost. You just said you don't believe in ghosts. Well, I don't normally. Well, ghosts aren't exactly normal, are they? So that means you do believe in them. I don't. There must be some logical explanation. I don't know what it was, but I can tell you what it wasn't. What do you mean? It wasn't Vanessa Marden getting into a carriage, was it? Because there wasn't any carriage. No, you're right, Jonathan. There wasn't any carriage. So it couldn't have been Victoria Thingamajig. Vanessa Marden. Besides, I didn't say that. There's nothing to say that ghosts have got to materialise themselves. There's no rule, is there? Look at the ghosts that come back without heads. Oh, stop it.
William, are you all right?
He saw your shadow and thought you were a ghost. I didn't.
Oh, Jonathan, don't talk such nonsense. You'll have terrible nightmares. Sergeant Cornfield's gone now, but he'll be back in the morning to carry out a real search.
Oh, may we help him?
Think about going to sleep. Benjamin's going to drive me into Annerley tomorrow to see Mr. Wilkinson about his report. Now, you can both come with me.
Isn't Annerley where the coal mine is?
Yes, that's right, William. That's our local mining community, where the scene starts that's causing all the trouble under Stilgo Lodge.
Could we go down the pit?
I should think not, indeed. But I'll show you the pit head and the winding wheel. Now, no more talk about ghosts. Try and get some sleep. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, William.
Jonathan?
Yes?
Are you awake? Of course I'm awake. How can I answer if I was asleep? Do you really believe in ghosts?
What started as such a good day has changed. The orphanage seems once more in danger, and now another strange mystery has entered the lives of the Flaxton boys.